Hi, hi.
Hello there, Nicholas Orndine.
Yes, that's correct.
You're here for the interview of the main broadcast announcer position?
Yes.
My name is Leilani, but you can call me Miss
Of
Trujillo,
course.
and I'm going to be interviewing you today.
Sure.
So I'm going to go ahead and get started with a little question about your schedule.
Sure.
So, on air, our program has many segments we like to run through. Has there been any time you had to balance multiple events in your schedule quickly?
Oh, yes. There has been many times. In a college class where we were separated into small groups, I always liked to be the one who laid out the schedule for my team. The way that I would organize the schedule involved, first and foremost, prioritizing these events that needed the most time. Usually these prioritized tasks were the large ones, so then I would divide these into smaller tasks to make the work realistically achievable for the whole team. And pair with that, I'd also make sure that the whole team knows our shared goal expectations, so that we share that cohesion and expectation that we know we're on track together. I know here at Trujillo Station, the many segments that are run through here, and balancing time and work is something that's essential to keep the program running. And I'm excited to help streamline that process by providing my skills not only for the company, but for the audience as well.
Good. How about you tell us a time where you had to give a review of a person's product or performance? How did you deliver your thoughts, and was there any moment where you were also reviewed?
Yes, I had to give quite a few in my life. The most relevant example I can give was at a previous job as a barista team lead, where I had to give my team members individual performance reviews for the quarter. To start these reviews, I would usually start out with a positive comment, as I didn't want to make my team members anxious about their contributions. I would focus on specific achievements so they know that I appreciate even the small accomplishments for the team. For any constructive criticism I had to give, I would keep it solely focused on the issue and not them, and provide some ways to remedy that issue together. I'm very team-centric, and I wanted to ensure that when I had to criticize, it was all for the growth as a team and as individuals. For myself, there have been times where I was likewise reviewed with a performance review, and in those times, I would take what is detailed seriously, and moments where there was something to correct, I would work with my reviewer to ensure that we're both getting the results that we want. I know as a made broadcast announcer, I'd be in charge of responsibilities like this for the team, and it's my passion to ensure that those detailed and sincere reviews get it out to the team, as that's the way we'll be able to keep quality consistent for Trujillo Radio.
Okay, sounds good. Tell us a time where you had to take the lead on a presentation or group discussion. How did you deal with possible conflict? How did you divide responsibility?
Of course, especially in college-assigned group work, I was usually the one who liked to volunteer to be the facilitator in brainstorming sessions and in formal meetings. Being the facilitator, I was essentially in charge of the writing and organization of the group, as well as the coordinating of the discussion. A specific time where there was conflict during a team meeting was when one of my team members had complained over an individual not being punctual with their work. I understood this frustration and took my time to communicate with the individual who had the late work, really hearing them out and trying to work out a schedule for them to turn in work on time. We eventually worked out that the issue was with their time management, and we quickly set agreements for that specific time for the group so they could work around that instead of having group time be skirted around. For dividing responsibility, I would most typically divide it based on individual skill set. For example, one of the group members was very talented with graphic design, and I always delegated visual work to him. And for important tasks, I would always ensure that it would be in the hands of someone I knew was dependable. I know that responsibility of hosting programs and ensuring that events such as panels run smoothly, and I'm confident that my experience in resolving team conflict and organizing the group process, that I could really excel in this important position.
Okay, that's good to hear. Can you give any examples of projects that you've tackled in the past that required a lot of analysis? How did you undergo that process, and what did you discover?
Yes, I can. In the past, I wrote a paper analyzing concurrent American politics, specifically about the future of women's bodily autonomy in relation to the Supreme Court. The goal of the paper was to predict whether or not SCOTUS would overturn Roe v. Wade. And for this paper, I really had to do my research regarding past rulings on abortion, contraceptives, etc. And I really had to immerse myself into what I was researching, as I knew that in order to effectively write about a topic, I had to really care about the subject. So, after taking detailed notes, annotating articles that I used as credible sources, and comparing trends, I was able to provide my prediction that yes, given the current makeup of SCOTUS being conservative, as well as trends in the other rulings, Roe v. Wade was likely to be overturned. In relation to Trujillo Radio, I know it's essential for a broadcast announcer to be well-researched and knowledgeable, as they are a reflection of the company. With my passion for thorough research and need to immerse myself in the material, I know I'll be able to relay accurate and knowledgeable information for our audiences.
Okay. My next question that I have for you is, can you tell us a time where you had to do or try something crazy or out of ordinary in your life? And how did you feel?
Oh, yes. There's a time I think about a lot. So, to preface, I am one of the few people in the world who dislike shrimp. I hate it. The texture, the taste, it just doesn't do it for me. Now, a couple of years ago, I was out at a sushi restaurant celebrating my mom's 52nd birthday. And usually at sushi restaurants, I avoid shrimp dishes. But that day was different. The chef had put up a special for the dish called odori ebi, literally meaning dancing shrimp. In other words, live shrimp.
Oh,
and now my family, being the crustacean lovers that they are, decided to order a whole plate for the family, much to my disagreement. After a few minutes, the chef comes out with these oval-shaped plates, each lined with about 5 grayish-brown shrimps, antennae and tails twitching all over slightly. My family immediately starts going to town, beheading them and starting to suck on their heads. Now, this is essentially my biggest nightmare. Something about me started to cruelly push me. I started thinking, come on, aren't you curious how it tastes? Try something different once in a while. Now, I've tried cooked shrimp before, of course. I had to have found my distaste for it somewhere. But I was just thinking, why not try it? So, following my dad's lead hesitantly, I started to try to eat it too. So, following his lead, I beheaded the shrimp and started sucking on the head. And the taste was immediately sweet, with a heavy taste of the sea that essentially all seafood carry. And after about 5 seconds, I stopped after I felt a little leg move in my mouth. A chill ran down my spine, and I drank so much cola that my throat started to burn. And, well, that was the last time I would ever put shrimp near my mouth. While the experience was something to I shudder to think about still, I love telling it to people. Which I know is an invaluable skill for a broadcast announcer to have. The audience wants a story that they can feel, smell, and taste, and I believe with my aptitude for storytelling that I can deliver that for them and for Trujillo Radio as well.
Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Of course, thank you so much. Thank you.